Well, bowling fans are back. Castle Lanes is the place. 2012 Border Battle. We got the Girls Championship today, Dwight. Three very familiar faces on the show with Morgan O'Brien, with Sarah Muench, and with Caerlina Williams. But one pretty impressive new face that we both have seen bowl and go, wow.
15 years old, Jordan out of Illinois. Phil, what a great game. Viewers should watch her game and be real impressed with her game.
Absolutely. We got two sets of finals. We have a Wisconsin semifinal, an Illinois semifinal, and the winner of those bowl off in the championship match for the Border Battle title. Join Dwight and I back from Castle Lanes and Racine in just a moment for that opening match. I have a lot of viewers that ask me, why do you have so many of your tournaments at Castle Lanes? Well, Castle Lanes is a center that has an exceptional atmosphere. The charm of being in a Northwoods cabin while you bowl, an attentive staff on the lanes and in the lounge, all the big screen TVs and a free Wi-Fi hotspot, and being named in Bowler's Journal as one of the 95 places to bowl before you die, you have to bowl at Castle Lanes. That's why we love Castle Lanes, and you will too. Castle Lanes, the site for the 2012 Border Battle. This is the Wisconsin Division Finals. Morgan O'Brien and Sarah Muench. And Dwight, we got Morgan starting us off here.
Yeah, Morgan, no stranger to your shows, Phil. She's decided to start off with her Hammer Blue Vibe.
Yeah, Morgan most recently won the Sean Yonan Memorial back in March up in Sheboygan and finished second promptly the next day in the VisitSheboygan.com Open. So a couple of shows since we've seen her, but made her way back. And Sarah Muench, a recent titleist as well when you see her shortly. And a little long there, and we'll see a lot of shots go long today with this long pattern, Dwight, 45 feet in length.
You can see the direct line, Phil, that she's playing. Lucky to break up the dinner bucket and leave the 4-8 going cross alley. Nice cover, straight at him. Great game, Phil. Both of them have wonderful games. Morgan's a little faster with her ball speed than Sarah. Sarah won the Town and Country Train Open, and that show I called her the slow looper, and you'll see that her speed is a little slower than Morgan's.
Yeah, she'll cover a couple more boards, but both ballers using, I guess, equipment that really isn't that aggressive, you could say, even with the longer pattern, because they really want to contain the dry on that last 15 feet, and she'd like to control that 8-pin and take it into the pit with the rest of them, because that was a phenomenal shot.
Yeah, that chopped the 5 straight back. It misses the 8. She's using a Columbia Eruption. She said that it didn't snap as much on the back and arced into the pocket nicely, and you can see clearly on that shot it did.
Yeah, I mean, the bowlers need control. With as much buff as in the pattern, the whole oil pattern is 45 feet long, but the shorter length of the initial oil application was only half the pattern. The second half of the pattern is just buffed out, and so that goes away very, very quickly as compared to what you may see on your normal league shot, where you can sit there pretty much most of the night with a shorter buff. So you're going to see these bowlers probably make a 1 or 2 board change even during this match as that down lane oil goes away.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just amazing in our sport how the littlest amount of oil in the wrong spot can clearly affect the ball's reaction. Nice wally there, Phil.
Gets the mix up. Or the lack of oil. I mean, as you saw in the Women's U.S. Open, that was in Reno, they tried doing it outside,
yep,
and the dust and the wind and everything took the oil right off the lanes, and by the time the show was done, they were using plastic bowling balls just to keep the ball on the lane, and it was a great effort to try to showcase bowling in the streets of Reno, but the wind got him that day in the dust.
I was going to say, it clearly shows that this is an inside sport, Phil.
Ooh, and that ball needed to be a hair more outside and get a little bit of oil in the middle, and that's very unusual for Morgan. She's not by any means a high rev player, but yep, she usually gets that ball to turn over on the back end and take that 8-10 out.
Well, it clearly shows the ball laid off right before the ball hit the pin deck. And even with these reactive balls and the stronger entry angles, they're still going to leave an 8-10 if it comes in with not much entry angle into the pocket.
Yeah. I mean, both these bowlers, you look at their form at the foul line, they could post that shot and just hold their finishing position all day. Both
well coached.
Yeah, both very well coached. Morgan with Tom Zerny up at Lighthouse Lanes in West Bend, and former owner there as well, and now his daughter Patty runs the place for him, and it's a great family center up there in West Bend.
Tom, a great coach, and comes back with a beautiful strike there.
So it's going to leave Sarah up by 13 pins. She can go up by 23 if she can get a double here in frame number 3.
Yeah, Sarah wanted to thank coaches Ben and Jerry Hafes, bowling out of Kingpin in West Bend.
In West Bend as well. So got Sarah just posting that foul through ice. Going to Midland University in the fall, and Wow, that's just back-to-back bad breaks for her in lane 16 here.
Well, both girls are around the pocket, Phil. Right now, it's just who's carrying. Brunswick's red crowns are the pins that are being used, and between AMF and Brunswick, I'll take AMF any day. Brunswick's pins are a little tougher to get down.
So switches to that polyester spare ball. Just a little bit across lane. Perfect form.
Yeah, beautiful post.
Dead on the pin.
Again, our viewers at home watching this is what you would want to see yourself look like at the foul line again, and this just comes from all the good coaching out there between Ben and Jerry and Tom, getting our today's youth in such great positions, not only during the approach but at the finish, which is the most important step. And 4 for 4 in the pocket, Phil, with a wrap 10, 6 flies up and around. You can't throw anything better than that.
Well, hopefully we don't see a 7-pin out of her on the next shot, because then she'd leave the whole back row in 5 frames, and that's not exactly a record you want to shoot for.
No. Now, the problem with this is it's going to come down to who makes their spares, and strikes are going to be at a premium, and this could also make for close matches too.
Yeah, I know for seeing these ladies giving pins away on spares. They both have really great spare games. Morgan won the 2010 Teen Masters out in Reno for a $5,000 scholarship, and she did it with her spare game. Her opponent was going strikes with lots of opens, and Morgan was just getting to the pocket, filling frames, getting those spares, and she had to make a 4-pin in the 10th frame of her last match to win. She got it, won that Team Masters title, and then got to spend a week bowling the first World Series of Bowling in Vegas a couple of years ago too, so phenomenal experience for her as well.
First ball out of the pocket between both girls, even though Morgan came up a little late in the first frame. That one you could clearly see the ball checked up about 30 feet down the lane. It was high already early.
And as we said, even though it's a longer oil pattern, the volume very light at the end, so these reactive bowling balls can start getting through the oil. They'll take it away, and you won't see really much in the way of carry down today because it's so light down lane. You'll see the bowlers start to make moves a little bit farther to the left and pitch it right and take advantage of that dry as it opens up.
Correct. The track will burn out, and then they'll have to go inside the track and then swing it to the track, which means the ball will react earlier in the lane instead of later farther down the lane. So, correct.
You see Morgan wearing a pretty big wrist brace from where you may have seen her in the past here on the Youth Challenge television shows. She's coming back from a wrist injury she suffered in March, and wow, that's unusual for her, and I think that might be a consequence of she's been messing around with her thumb pitches as well, trying to take some pressure off her wrist, and she mentioned during the tournament today she was having some issues with having the ball quick off the thumb.
So usually when someone injures their wrist or they have wrist pain, usually you want to go more forward with the thumb pitch to help her hold on to it.
So, well, she's killing that one pretty nice, Dwight. She got all those pins on the spare. We're going to take our first commercial break of the afternoon, and we'll be back from Castle Lanes and Racine in just a couple of minutes. Make sure you stay tuned. Back on lanes 15 and 16 here at Castle Lanes and Racine with the second half of our Wisconsin division for the Girls Border Battle Championship. Sarah Muench looking to extend that 16-pin lead.
She starts off very slow with her footwork, Phil, and then one of those calls slow and then go. The other thing I noticed with Sarah, too, is she tends to push the ball a little bit to the right in her push-away area, which could end up wrapping the ball behind her back in her backswing. We call that a loopy arm swing in coaching.
I think a little bit with that ball was just, as you said, it just could have been a little slow. She has a slow, very slow approach to the foul line, and with that, ball speed, if it gets a little slow as this pattern breaks down, it's really going to take off early, so I think you'll see a lot of errant shots to the left that you normally might see hold on a league pattern. Even though this is not quite the sport stuff we put the kids on sometimes, definitely not the world's most easiest lane pattern. It'd be considering somewhere between a USBC blue and an easier USBC white pattern.
So you'd be looking like a 5.5 to 6 to 1 ratio.
Yeah, just a hair less than that. So still have to make really good shots, and it's pretty speed sensitive. And once again, there you see her speed kind of got her a little bit on that shot.
Yep, a little slower, and the ball ended up taking off halfway down the lane, right in the track area. Tough spare here.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is just get 2 and move on. I mean, you already have if you get 2, you still have a lead in the double digits. So, which is key right now with Morgan struggling to get anything going. She's only have 1 strike through her first 5 frames.
Yep, that's a smart move there, just taking 2.
Yep. So right now, dead even. Good thing she took the 2, because now if Morgan marks, you're in the lead. You're absolutely in the lead. If she gets less than a strike, if she gets a 9 count or less, Sarah's still in the lead. See Morgan checking that ball position while it's still in her hand, making sure it's in the right spot so she gets that push away correct. And that's a little surprising right there.
A little bit more inside target, and the ball caught a little bit of that oil, and then it just didn't finish complete at all. The only thing that I see in Morgan's game, Phil, is she tends to pop up just a touch at the finish with her whole body. We call it lifting up out of the shot, where you would want to try to just keep the whole frame level while the ball's being released. Yeah, otherwise, beautiful game.
Yeah, nice steady head, just up a little on the bottom, and that little bit left caught her that time. And oh, there's so many combinations when you leave 3 or 4 pins out there to miss it. And one of the telling statistics on the PBA Tour, if you have a 6-pin, if you have a 4-pin combination spare, the pros average converting that 65% of the time. That's pros out on tour. If there's 4 pins up there, so that's just an amazing stat. You'd think it would be a lot higher considering the pro bowlers, but those 4-pin combinations, like us. Exactly. There's just so many ways to miss those combinations. But right back in the pocket.
Well, she got a good trajectory there. Perfect skid hook and then snap up into the pocket. So she finally got the ball motion that she needed to see.
And both these bowlers are showing you right now, even though the pattern might be heavy, it might be a little long, you don't need the hook monster out of your bag in order to score. These ladies are both using equipment that's easy to control. On the back end of the lane, they know it's predictable. They know it's not going to snap too hard. And that one didn't snap too hard, Dwight. That was just left to target.
Yep, and she paid full price, and I think she's got to make a big move here in the next couple of frames to have a chance to stay in this match, Phil.
Yeah, definitely, as we said, the lane conditions are going to go away pretty quick for these ladies. Yep. And they're going to have to start making those 2 board left with their feet and 1 board left with their target moves to keep the ball in the pocket.
Yep, you called it at the beginning of the match, and then you can see it obviously unfolding right in front of us.
So, still going to leave Sarah with a 4-pin lead thanks to Morgan's opening in the 6th frame, but Morgan can get a double in her 8th frame and get the lead
match
back.
Pretty close, you bet. So and just like we said, with this, with the girls not getting the strikes, this could go down right to the wire.
Nice balance at the foul line by Sarah. Kicks the 10.
Yep, that's always nice for the bowler to see that 6 kick out the 10 low. Kind of gives you a little bit of confidence that you weren't flush in the pocket, but you still got the strike. So maybe she can get something going here. Looks like she moved in a little, Phil, just like what we talked about.
Yeah, and just maintaining that good strong roll on the back end. With the strong roll, even if you don't have the world's greatest ball speed or Jason Belmonte revs, you can still get that corner pin to kick out just like that, too. You don't get trip 4s off a bad rotation on the ball.
Yep, I mean, and that's a big double. It puts her in the lead. And so she obviously made the correct move, playing a little bit more in and then bellying it into the track. And again, this game is all about adjustments. But getting back to that 6-count spare shooting, Phil, my whole philosophy is if you leave more than just 1 for a spare, you always run the chance of chopping it off.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking for 3 in a row here in the 9th frame. That looks pretty good. Ooh.
Yep. Yeah, hit that track in just 4-pin high, Phil. Just took off a little early in at about 40 feet mark.
Well, the good news for Morgan is she has the lead still right now if she makes a spare. Bad news is that Sarah can get up, strike in the 9th and 10th frames, and shut her out. So,
right down the wire, just like we talked about.
There aren't too many matches in the Youth Challenge Series that end up being runaways. We get a lot of these nice close matches in the 10th frame. Keep the excitement going.
And I think at this point, a lot of the youth and a lot of our kids are equally talented. They all have very good games, and so because of that, they worked hard all day to get to this point. Of course, they're going to see close matches.
So if Sarah can double here, she'll take the lead back by 5 pins. Anything else, and Morgan will keep that lead going in the 10th frame.
I would have to bet that she obviously saw the success on the other lane moving a little bit more in, and she did the same thing on that lane and just crushed them. Almost left the stone 7,
Almost
Phil.
left that 7. Almost got the whole back row in one game there, and that's, as we said before, it's not a record you're shooting for.
No.
But yeah, watch that 4-pin come off the wall and barely, pardon me, the 2-pin and barely tickle out that 7, yeah. So a great shot for Sarah there.
I don't think she would have been happy if she left that 7 there, Phil.
No, not at all.
Close match, Phil. Right down to the 10th frame.
A double here, and 6 pins can shut out Morgan O'Brien. Good ball out of her hand, and
great shot. Same as the last time when she tripped out the 10-pin, having the 6 hit it low, and this time the 6 just fell flat in the gutter and didn't come out.
Yeah, you can see the rotation of the ball there coming up. You just see the amount of deflection. That ball actually almost got to the 10-pin spot because the roll wasn't real strong at the end of the pair, and she may have just kind of spun that one off her hand a little early. if you get a chance to talk to some of the pros that are out there, even some of the regional guys, they're just so important about getting the roll on the ball at the pocket. It's not about how you get there; it's about how that ball gets into the roll at the pocket, and that's what a lot of the guys on tour only worry about nowadays.
That's how it goes through the pins.
Exactly.
Yeah, because that can control their pin carry. That's everything for the pin carry. You want to see the ball roll through the pins so it doesn't have the deflection. Remember, if the ball's spinning, it's going to push the pins to the left and to the right.
Well, count there was kind of important because what that's going to do now is that's going to force Morgan to get a double and 4 pins for a 181 game. So
not a bad game out of Sarah with the opens in the 6th and 7th. Still shoots a respectable 180. Not bad.
Well, and coming back in the 8th and 9th after those 2 opens, going high, making the right move and going strike.
Yep.
And even that first ball in the 10th, just a little bit of the rotation off to not carry that 10 pin.
Yep. Now this is where, obviously, this is gut check time for Morgan.
And we've seen her do this before on a lot of U Challenge shows. She's been on a dozen of them already, so we've seen her strike the win plenty of times before, and you can see she's just a cool, calm, collected character. Goes back to the ball return, try to do the same thing she just did on that first shot in the 10th.
It's just a whole amazing thing with the psyche, Phil, how that first one in the 10th is pretty easy, but now this is a whole different match right here. The second one, the 10th, knowing that you need to get the second one for the win.
Yep.
It's just amazing how the psyche all changes on this one shot.
Yeah, she didn't make any move on that at all. Gets herself set up nicely. 5 steps, and that's quick off the wow. And you can
clearly
see
dropped it.
the smirk on the way back. She always manages to put a smile on a lot of stuff, good or bad, but that's one of the things that she was saying before the match started. She's been having problems working with the new thumb, working with after the wrist injury, and
it showed up.
Yeah, right there. Unfortunately, a bad spot for her, so she's going to end up going home in 2nd place in the Wisconsin division today. Still going to take home some nice prizes.
Yeah, Sarah wins sitting on the bench.
And great shot to round things out. 180 to 176 is our Wisconsin final. We'll be back with the Illinois final for the girls' 2012 border battle from Castle Lanes in just a couple of minutes, so make sure you stay tuned. I have a lot of viewers that ask me, why do you have so many of your tournaments at Castle Lanes? Well, Castle Lanes is a center that has an exceptional atmosphere. The charm of being in the Northwoods cabin while you bowl, an attentive staff on the lanes and in the lounge, all the big screen TVs and a free Wi-Fi hotspot, and being named in Bowler's Journal as one of the 95 places to bowl before you die, you have to bowl at Castle Lanes. That's why we love Castle Lanes, and you will too.
Hi, I'm Joe Petkus, owner of Action Heating and Cooling. Action Heating and Cooling has been providing a tradition of comfort in your home or business since 1972. We respect your desire for quality work at a fair price, completed when promised. Our planned maintenance plans can help your furnace or central air system run efficiently, last longer, and operate safely. We are comfort you can count on. We are Action Heating and Cooling. Call us or visit our website today.
The Illinois semifinal for the 2012 border battle coming to you from Castle Lanes and Racine. And Dwight, a very familiar face recently on our U Challenge shows, starting us off here with Caerlina Williams.
Yeah, great game, Phil. I compared her to Kim Terrell, the couple shows that we've called, and very fluid to the line. And when you have as good as a game as she has, you're going to throw a lot of strikes.
She's very nice and direct, taking advantage of that line pattern. And out of the 4 finalists, she definitely can generate the most ball speed out of anyone here.
And because of that, her ball really pops, Phil, when it hits the pins. I mean, those pins are off the deck fast.
And we've seen Caerlina before. We saw her at the VisitSheboygan.com Open. Straighter is greater for her, and she really plays that straight line. And here's someone that's going to take not much more of a scenic route with Jordan Newham here. Her first appearance here on the U Challenge Series.
Very upright, Phil. Tall young lady. Upright at the finish. Leads a little hard with the right shoulder, but still very nice game for 15 years old.
Exactly. So just recently won the first Elite Youth Tour event in Iowa. New tour that started off sponsored by a couple of our sponsors, High Five Gear and EFX Bowling. So she's got a title under her belt with that. Looking for her first U Challenge title here.
Yeah, started at 8 years of age. She's got a high game at 279, high series of 695, so just short of that 700 mark.
So goes to Matea Valley High School down in the Aurora area. So her lane strategy for this match. Play deep. You see her deep there and pick up her spares, but if she carries shots like that, not going to leave many spares behind.
Very nice game, Phil. Both the young ladies are playing a very direct line again, just trying to keep it right around the track area, the same as that last match.
So ball does a lot of work. She's throwing, what's she throwing there, Dwight?
She wrote on her sheet that it was a frantic fill, but it looks like it's more green and black.
So I think it's that Grape Vibe she switched to. I think she needs something that's a little tamer on the back end. So it's that Grape Vibe's got that blue-green color to it.
Yep. And we know Caerlina's throwing the Marble Pearl, trips the 4 forward, so early nice double start for Caerlina.
Watch that toothpin come back off the wall and just take that 4 right in the middle and almost slide into the headpin spot.
Push it straight forward.
Looking for 3 in a row here to start off this match and get off to a nice early 20-pin lead.
Neither one of the girls take a lot of time, Phil, on the approach. They get set and they go.
And a great shot there by Caerlina. The opening 3-bagger, 20-pin lead. And I'm sure these two have bowled against each other in Illinois State Youth Leader events down in the Illinois area. They're pretty similar to our Youth Challenge events up here.
Yep. You can see they're not trying to hook the ball, Phil, with a lot of surface. They're both using big weight block polish reactors, trying to play a very direct line.
Yeah, that is a Grape Vibe that she's using. It's kind of funny that the ball's got green in it, but they call it a grape.
Yeah, you can clearly see that there's a lot of green in there, but it must be green and purple then.
Green grapes and purple grapes, I guess. So forgot about my varieties of grapes there.
There we go.
Yeah.
We're going after the fruits here.
Exactly. Well, she needs to go after this 5-pin and stay within 20 pins, so this shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Pulled it bad on that first ball. Cross alley.
Nice post at the line.
Yep, beautiful.
That's the one thing with all of our bowlers out there. I mean, you'll see it in the boys show next too. The balance these bowlers have is phenomenal. All their forms are different. All the ways they get to the foul line are entirely different, but their balance is always there.
That last step, because they've had great coaching and the coaches have gotten them into the proper position, swinging their trail legs around the body, using that trail foot as the balance, dropping the hips to get nice knee bend, and
that's just harsh.
Break. Yeah, bad break. And she's already quickly behind in this match, Caerlina with the first 3. And obviously now she leaves a pocket 7-10, and the 5 throws right in front of the 7, 6 falls to the gutter, doesn't come out, pocket 7-10.
Yeah, she makes us as a $100 scholarship from Essential Bowling Concepts. We haven't had one made yet, and our streak's still intact here.
Awfully tough, Phil. The only way that I ever made one in my life was throwing my shoulder out of its rotator cuff, trying to throw 25 miles an hour and kick the pin across the deck.
Yeah, exactly. I got a couple. It's the same way. You get the lucky bounce out of the pit and turn around and you can't believe you actually did it. So
happens pretty quick.
43 pins the lead can go to here for Caerlina if she can stay with the strike train here. That's just left out of her hand, Dwight.
Yeah, it looks to me, Phil, like she didn't get her trail foot to swing around her body to clear the hip, and she came outside in with her arm swing just that little bit. Ball just took off.
In your opinion, a lot of times, is that a footwork issue or a push-away issue when that happens?
She might have just been leading real hard with the right shoulder, because the right shoulder and the trail foot are connected. That one shot where you just want to get a little bit on it, and obviously the mind's going to go to the spot where it's going to generate the most power, which is the right shoulder, and it just doesn't get her trail foot to swing around the body rather than just relaxing the right shoulder.
Well, still in the lead, but it's only by 15 pins here for Caerlina, getting into our 5th frame right before we take the commercial break for this game.
Yeah, she lost a lot of count, obviously on a 3-bagger, and then getting 6 on the first ball, and then a pretty costly open to keep now this match pretty close. Great shot to come back to leave again a stone 10, Phil.
So yeah, definitely rang that one up. Not a matter of bad ball rotation there. That was just strong out of the pocket and just a little behind the head pin, and watch that 6 pin.
Just whistle up and around.
Couldn't have been more than an inch away from that 10 pin at any point in time.
Cats over at USBC back when we were in Greendale obviously listed when you leave a 10 pin, you're hitting 17th board, or a flush pocket is 18th board. So 1 inch off 60 feet away is the reason why you leave the cold 10.
Halfway through the Illinois semifinal for the 2012 border battle. On our girls' side, Dwight, we got Jordan Newham here looking to get back into this match down by 15 early.
Yeah, we gotta get her going here, and no better way than just flushing them straight back, Phil. Big strike in the 5th.
So she can double cut that lead down to 5, and
pins, yeah.
Definitely got a little more direct in that shot. I think she's watching Caerlina a little bit and learning that the scenic route might not be the best route today.
I was going to say, there's the ball hit an 18th board, Phil, flush in the pocket. There's no way a 10-pin's going to stand on that shot.
And it's fun watching the girls pick up their ball speed a little bit, get aggressive with the shot, make sure it stays on line.
You're right.
I mean, she's throwing a 15-pound ball there. She's got pretty good speed and a huge snowplow.
Yep.
Hey, guess what? It's July, but it's a snowplow out there.
Well, that's a big break. You know, makes up for a lot of the cold 10s that you leave on, you thought, pretty good shots, and then you get one of those where you got the old Missouri squash pushing everything back toward the 10-pin. But big double.
Absolutely. Cuts Caerlina's lead down to 5 pins here. Caerlina working on a spare in the 5th frame. Looking to start striking again. Perfect form on the bottom. And that just crept up a little high on her, and I think she needs to make a little bit of a move left again. We saw it halfway through the last match.
Yeah, mid-game transitions, Phil. I mean, both girls had to do it the last match, and now it's happened to Caerlina. She's gone high both shots now on lane 16.
Yeah, it's like both bowlers make 3 or 4 shots on a lane, and next thing you know, they got to make that move. Maybe we can see if they'll start anticipating it pretty soon. No problem covering up that 6-pin for Caerlina. Both these young ladies, phenomenal spare games. That's what got them through this championship match. Got them through their state bracket in the semifinals today.
And another thing, Phil, another close match going into the 7th frame. Neither one of them running away with it. 5 steps, very slow to start. Again, lifted up out of the shot on that one. Looks to me like she's trying to get a little bit more on it today, Phil, than what we've seen in the past from her.
Yeah, just a little bit more, and it was just enough that time to trip that 4-pin out again. That's a couple of trip 4s for this match for her.
Yeah, she's gone high, high, high now, the last 3 shots, and so I agree with you, Phil. She can't obviously hear us, but I think she needs to move in a board or 2 with her feet.
Yeah, I don't think speed's going to make a big difference for her right now. If it catches early friction, even with speed, it's not going to get to the pocket. And that was just a hair left of the last shot we saw from Jordan on 16.
Yep, just slightly inside mark. So you can tell that there's not much miss area out there. The girls got to be pretty perfect to get it into the pocket regardless of the line that they're playing, but they both decided to choose the slight inside track line, if you want to call it that.
I'll tell you what, you got 15-year-old Jordan here from Illinois, Stephanie Schwartz, who just missed a TV show today, bowls here at Caerlina, 2nd place at the state tournament, 2nd place at the Sean Yonan, 15 years old. If I was 15 years old, I'd still be shaking in my boots for the first time on TV. Jordan's all calm, cool, collected. Look at her. It's just another day on the lanes.
I don't get it, Phil. When I was their age, and if I made TV at their age, I couldn't drink back then, but I would have had a stiff drink. These girls, these girls and boys get up here, and they just are so, or at least they got a good front that they show that they're very relaxed behind the camera lights. But I made Bowling with the Champs at 21 years old. It was 3 games of just shake in my boots, and I couldn't wait for it to be over. And I shot 480 on TV, which was a bad
it's a bad score every day of the week. Yeah.
I was scarred for life. But the biggest thing, though, is they just make it look so easy, and I don't get it. I different mentality or different age group. I don't have no idea, but they're so mature for their ages.
Absolutely. Jordan with that great cover on a 10-pin. She took a little bit of a scenic route that time. She did make a move left and try getting the ball to come up a little bit. Just didn't turn over early enough to get the 10 out. And I think we're going to see Caerlina here just make a little move. Yep, she just moved 1 board on the approach with her feet.
Well, she needed to.
Yeah, so she'll get back online here, I bet. Little early on the hook again.
Yep.
So you can see that ball actually started hooking about 20, 25 feet down the lane.
Did.
So you can see these aggressive, even not so aggressive bowling balls, when it's a lighter oil pattern, starts to take the oil away with the bowling ball, and the ball starts to hook even earlier. And they can't really move outside on this pattern because there's still a lot of oil there.
It'll never come back.
It'll never come back, yeah. So we'll see how both these young ladies adjust to finish the match.
This shot.
Whoa!
Well, it took off on her. Yeah, across that, even plastic. And she knew it, too, that she missed a little left to target.
And Jordan gets the lead sitting on the bench. That's the biggest
lead.
Yeah, that's the biggest mental mistake I've seen Caerlina make on one of our telecasts recently. No doubt about that. She's been on 4 this season, and that's not the time for the mistake to happen in the 8th frame.
Well, you're coming to the foundation 9th. Must strike time for her, and she comes through, Phil.
Gets that 6-pin to kick out the 10. Just fall over on the deck.
That's big.
Well, Jordan can pretty much strike out here and shut everything out. So she gets the first one in the 10th with a strike in the 9th here. It's done.
Yeah, to me, the 9th frame, if you're head-on-head matches, this is the most important frame in the match because it sets up the 10th. And threw a good shot, just slightly high.
Oh, she's checking her footwork a little bit on there. I think she just got a little quick to the line with her because her push was a little early. The ball starts coming down quick, and you got to save it, and you get your shoulder out a little bit in front of you.
Now, I would say advantage Caerlina with the strike in the 9th. She sets up her own destiny for the 10th.
And hold on. Oh, yeah, no problem there with that plastic spare ball.
Last time in that lane, she left the 4-7 and pulled it left, and her plastic spare ball went dead straight at him and was kind of lucky to make the spare because it looked like it was going to hook off the lane, just like what happened to Caerlina's on that same lane. But Jordan's was able to make the spare.
Well, Jordan's max here, 203 if she strikes out, but Caerlina's max striking out is 209. So whatever basically Jordan does here, Caerlina's going to have to match in the 10th in order to win.
Great. So it ain't better than that.
Clutch.
Yeah.
To be 15 years old and that clutch, it's just it's just impressive with a lot of these kids out here in the Youth Challenge Series.
And then the other thing, Phil, is look at the roll on the ball. Look how beautiful that heavy forward roll, just like what we were talking about for the great pin carry. How that ball went through the pins. Just beautiful roll on the ball.
Awesome.
Great hand position at the release. That's what causes it.
Nice, simple 4 steps. It's got a whole pocket. Oh, it does.
Yeah, a little bit more on the side of the ball on that shot. She had a little bit more side rotation. But again, 15 years old, Phil, she put all the pressure now on Caerlina with getting that double in the 10th. Jordan's going to be sitting on the bench watching the fate of this match.
Tell you what, if Jordan gets through this match and gets to the final against Sarah Muench, oh, it's going to be, I mean, it's going to be a heck of a battle of younger bowlers. Even if it's Caerlina that gets through this match, then you got a couple of college-age bowlers going through and neat stuff. Count really didn't matter right there. It's going to force Caerlina to double no matter what. With 13-pin lead for Jordan sitting down after her 202.
Yep, got the important 2 of the first 2 in the 10th. So 15 years old, Jordan bowled a great game on TV. Just great.
Visit Sheboygan.com Open. Caerlina had to step up in the 10th for her match and strike to win. She did it there, and now today she needs a double to win. Yeah,
and she's coming off a 4-pin the last time up on this lane. Maybe did she move in again, Phil? Last time
I didn't see move in, so maybe she's thinking she just pulled that last one.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely pulled again. Oh, wow. My.
Break of the day right there. That was a 6-7, Phil. That went out at the last second.
And that's one of those ones where Jordan's got to be going, come on, you got to be kidding me. But Jordan carried the same kind of shot for a double in her 6th frame, so the good break strikes for bowlers are even at 1 apiece this match. But still, Caerlina needs one more shot here. Another strike to get to the final match against Sarah Muench for the Border Battle title.
She's actually got to put that last frame out of her mind now and get up here and throw a good shot.
Nice.
And that's how to do it.
She took a little more of the side rotation out. Yeah. She came through that ball relatively straight up. You could see that ball was just a hard charging end over end all the way in the pocket. And once it got through that 1-3, the 5 and the 9 didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, in her mind, she's thinking, that's a real strike right there. Yeah, I got a break on the first one, but that's how I know I can throw it.
I gotta say, going into that last match, watching these lanes break down between Caerlina and Sarah, you gotta say ball speed advantage. Caerlina, that could be the difference that next match.
Absolutely. 4 is a winner, and another flush strike.
Gets them all down 209 to 202. Caerlina Williams goes to the final match in our Border Battle today against Sarah Muench. Join Dwight and I back from Caerlina and Racine for that match in just a couple of moments. High Five Gear. Custom bowling and sports apparel as unique as you are. The only limitation is your imagination. HighFiveGear.com. Barbiere's, a Milwaukee institution since 1963. Great Italian food for dine-in or carry-out, and great times for your family and friends. Barbiere's, in the heart of South Milwaukee, and near Miller Park on Blue Mound Road. Final match of the 2012 Border Battle at the Girls Championship. And Dwight, after that last match, Caerlina Williams said, I didn't deserve to get out of the semifinal. I got a lucky strike. I didn't deserve to get out of my opening round qualifying match today. She goes, today's my day. Let's see if she can finish it off here. She's thinking today's her day.
Yeah, absolutely, Phil. I mean, you got to have the positive mental attitude, and if you've got that confidence that the breaks are going your way that day, absolutely could take you to the winner's circle.
Well, a little bad break there, kind of leaving that weak 10 pin. You see there the ball deflect.
But the lane's getting drier, Phil. I gotta believe that advantage Caerlina here, because with the track forming, you're going to have to keep your speed up. Sarah throws that slower, loopier type of shot, so you would have to think that advantage Caerlina, at least early on paper. But we'll see how the match plays out.
Yeah, that's why they throw the bowling balls. We saw that with the Kunis Country Trios on our last show. You had the teams. You had Team Eagle with Jamie Cullen and her team, and Diane Krantz and her team for Classic Greenfield. You look at it on paper and go Team Eagle all the way, and it wasn't even a close match for Classic Greenfield to just run away with it.
Anything can happen in that one-game match. Sarah obviously clearly with the ball change from her first match.
And she got real, I guess you could say, early elbowy with that swing. You watched that ball come down, and her hand just didn't look like it was in a solid position at all at the bottom of the swing.
Correct. I think she probably moved to her track 718A. She writes on her bio sheet because it's designed to go longer and snap at the end. So I think she went back to that ball because obviously, and that could be a smart move because, again, the lane's breaking down.
Yeah, she needs to get the length, and a little pop for her isn't going to be a big deal unless she's out of the pocket like she was on that shot. Not a huge loss right now of 1 pin in the first frame, but it's always tougher bowling from behind than from ahead, and now she's down 12 early.
I mean, based off of one shot, based off of that shot, she's going to have to get a little bit more into the track a little earlier for that ball to come around. That ball hit the oil and just went 62.5 feet on her.
Little better shot. Ooh, that one, and then that one reads early, so I think definitely it was the first shot was a release issue. The second shot there, she was solid at the line, and now she's got the hook. So, yeah, I think you're right. It's going to have to start moving left and move left early.
Yeah, absolutely, to get the motion that she needs to see. Otherwise, with the way Caerlina's throwing the ball, this match could be over real soon.
Yeah, Sarah might actually have to visit a new neighborhood of the lane, I guess. It's going to be a pretty big move.
Again, both of the girls just have great styles and great forms. The only thing I would work on with Sarah would be trying to get that push away a little bit more on a direct straight line. We call it the groove, the pro groove, and the arm swing and coaching. Norm Duke, when he was in town a few years back, talked about from the push away area back to the arm swing, he wants to feel like the ball coming through the middle of his body.
See what Caerlina can do. Try to get a strike on the board in frame number 2. Great out of her hand.
Much straighter arm swing than Sarah, and obviously because of that, you're going to get that more direct line. Beautiful shot.
So, hey, look at that. Spare Time Pro Shop. Wonder who owns that.
Yeah, I wonder, huh, Phil?
Any good specials going on right now, Dwight, if bowlers stop by at the Pro Shop?
Absolutely. I mean, we have a big bag sale going on right now. Our supplier changed a lot of the cosmetics on the bags, and so we have a big bag sale going on right now and a lot of balls on sale because the new stuff, Phil, is coming out in a couple weeks.
Yep. Get to your Pro Shop early, whether it's Dwight or your local Pro Shop guy. Get to them early. Beat the rush this year before bowling season really starts.
Yeah.
A lot of good new equipment coming out late July, early August, so start getting the bowling balls drilled up early for your fall league. And get some practice in there, too.
Yeah, we'll be going to the trade shows in the next couple of weeks to see the new products that are out there and see the motions that the manufacturers are trying to create.
That was a straight motion there, point A to point B, straight at the 10 pin, and Caerlina's got that covered up nicely. Keeps herself with that 12 pin lead, getting into Sarah's third frame.
And again, just great spare shooting, just like you talked about, Phil. They get up on the approach, don't even think about it, ho hum, nice cover.
Well, these bowlers learn when they bowl in these tournaments like ours and the Illinois State Youth Leaders. Spares make the difference on making a cut and getting a scholarship check or going home. It's not strikes, so great strike by Sarah there to mix everything up.
You can see clearly, Phil, she moved in, just like you talked about from that last frame. Definitely much more inside target, and then swung it to the track and got a great result, throwing the 5 into the 7.
Both of our bowlers in this match wearing those great high 5 gear jerseys. Lots of new styles coming out this time of the year, so stop at high5gear.com. They've got some awesome golf shirts that are out now, too. Some great styles for wearing out on the greens. If you're not inside bowling this time of year, you're probably out golfing. And wear something stylish out there. Wear high 5 gear.
Yeah, the fabric for both of our sports, Phil, is so stretchy and so light. It just makes it just perfect for both sports.
So a little problem with the headpin playing interference there on the 4 and the 5, getting at the 7 for Sarah.
It was a carbon copy shot from frame 3. The only difference, the 5 didn't do its job and tried to go into the 7, but the 4 blocked it.
Great cover there by Sarah. Keeps herself within 12 pins. Let's see what Caerlina can do here, working on a spare. both these young ladies, during the matches, they don't wear their emotions on their sleeve too much. It's all business out there. But I'll tell you what, you talk to either of these ladies off the lanes, they're friendly, they're cheerful, they'll tell you what's on their mind. They have, and you don't get to see the real them on the lanes. You get to see the competitor out there. So it's kind of like that with a lot of people give Sean Rash or Chris Barnes bad names. Guess what? When these guys are off the lanes, they're just like everybody else. But when they're out there, they want to win. They got the winner's face on, and that's what these two young ladies have right now.
Yep, and they just are not as emotional or run out the shots as like a Sean Rash or Chris Barnes is going to do. They do more of their talking with their bowling ball.
You can see Caerlina looked a little worried on that one. That ball came down and threw her swing a little late. She grabbed the low on the bomb, and all of a sudden you see the frown kind of going like, oh, did I miss that? And she hit the outside of the 3-pin, but got lucky to take everything out.
Not the textbook way of making it, Phil, but a spare is a spare.
Hey, it's the moon over Castle Lanes. Over lanes 12 and 13 here at Castle.
Beautiful post there. Great result.
A great strike to get into our commercial break for this match. Dwight and I'll be back with the rest of this girls' championship for the 2012 Border Battle in just a couple of minutes. Sarah Muench, 9 pins down here in the girls' championship for the 2012 Border Battle. And Dwight, last time on this lane, believe she had a strike.
Yeah, made the move more infill, and she had that 5 thrown into the 7 for the light wally. But that one looked like it took off in the track about 35, 40 feet, and it was high there already, leaving the 610.
So at least she leaves a makeable spare, keeps herself within a mark.
Got a big break, breaking up the 710, so just leaving the 610.
Sarah heading to Midland College down in Nebraska, Midland University. So great coach down there, J.J. Maston. He used to coach the University of Nebraska Omaha programs when I was coaching at UW Whitewater. A great guy, and he's got Midland off to a great start as an NAIA program down there.
I'm sure he's just thrilled to have Sarah coming down there with her physical game. Again, that's the thing, Phil, is bowling your tournaments, getting this TV exposure, working with the high school coaches as much as Sarah and Caerlina have. I mean, these college coaches just got to be foaming at the mouth to get this talent coming their way, Phil.
Absolutely. And that just looked a little weak at release. She maybe tried taking something off of it. Obviously when the ball is hooking too much, you can try to take the fingers out, as they say, a little bit. And that just didn't have enough rotation to get all the way up. Lucky to just leave a single pin. Could have gotten luckier to roll the 2, but
100% agree. She just didn't come out of that one clean to get lift and rotation on the ball.
Posted beautifully. Yep. No problem covering that up. Well, Caerlina Williams going Robert Morris in Illinois and Chicago next season, so she'll be a freshman there.
The team just got stronger.
Yeah, I'm sure Dale Lehman, the head coach down there, is, like you said, chomping at the bit to get Caerlina on the team and get her working. So
both the boys for Robert Morris and the girls have such great bowlers, and a lot of them come from your shows, Phil.
Yeah, and we saw 3 on the team on our trios show from New Berlin, with Mason Petrin and then the Kents, Jacob Kent and Marshall Kent. And Marshall Kent just taking gold and silver medals galore in the World Youth Championships in Thailand.
Yep, I just read that today.
So he's got a gold and a silver under his belt as we're taking care of the tournament here today. So see if we can get out of there with some, let's get the USA out of there with some team medals as well.
What an extremely talented game. When you see something like Marshall Kent live and in person, you wonder why they only won silver, not gold. How can anyone be out there that has even more talent than him?
Oh, yeah. And you see in the corner of the screen down there, you see A.J. Johnson talking to a couple of bowlers down there, talking to Ryan Zager. A.J. Johnson, another member of Team USA and Junior Team USA like Marshall Kent. So these bowlers have talent, and they work hard, and they get great coaching. And
got it going on.
Yeah, you'll see A.J. in the boys' border battle finals, and Ryan Zagar as well. They're in their respective matches, and Caerlina comes back after that open with a great strike.
Yeah, because of the open, when very close match, could be a 1-pin match or even striker evens it up.
So watch that head pin do a lot of work. Just cave in the 4, 5, and 7.
Gotta believe she made an adjustment infill after leaving that 6-7 split in the 6th.
So let's see if Sarah makes a move here after going high again on the last shot on lane 16. Little spinny with it, and that's why the 7 didn't go. She's trying different methods to keep the ball straighter, but unfortunately for her, that ball is going too long now, and not getting turned over hard enough. Just watch that head pin and 5 pin, just kind of just do not a lot of anything there.
Yeah, she's getting 2 out of the 3 phases of ball reaction. She's not getting the third. So the ball's hitting the pocket, unfortunately going through the second phase of reaction and not the third. The ball's still got a roll to carry. She's getting it to the pocket, but she's going to leave herself a lot of those 5 into the 7s. Either the 5 will do its job and take out the 7, or she's going to be shooting at a lot of 7 pins.
Yeah. The good news for her is that Caerlina is leaving open frames with her strikes, while Sarah's just filling in frames, so it's practically an even match. She's only down by a pin, and it's really not a bad strategy for Sarah right now to just keep trying to fill frames.
But if Caerlina gets lined up and Sarah's not striking, that was a good shot, Phil.
That was harsh.
Yeah, that should have been a strike, and you could see better rotation on the ball on that one. And again, the 6 just didn't do its job, just whistled up and around, but you could see clearly she had much more rotation on that ball.
It's hard to believe that a pin can fly that fast around another pin and not touch it. Yeah, absolutely. That pin's not more than an inch, inch and a half away all the way around the belly of that 10 pin, and it never even touched it.
Nice cover.
Well, 2-pin lead for Caerlina, getting into her 8th frame. Every match today, nice and tight, the way we like him here in the U Challenge Series, Dwight.
So far through 7 frames, I mean, basically almost a tie. Caerlina with a 2-pin lead.
Can extend it to 12 if she can get a strike here in the 8th frame.
And again, I just wonder if it's just that talent level, Phil, that they're so equally matched. Or that neither one of them has found the right ball reaction to I guess, break away from the other one.
Well, Caerlina with a doubler. And you got to remember, too, they faced each other in the final match at the 900 Global Train Open down at Town and Country Lanes last year.
Yep.
So they've bowled each other before. They know each other's games, and you know Caerlina's looking for a little revenge off of losing the title.
You would have to be thinking it's in the back of her mind.
So, I mean, these two bowlers, even though they're from different states, very familiar with each other over the last few months on the U Challenge Series.
Yeah, they see each other a lot at either your tournaments or other tournaments that are out there.
Oh,
good break.
The Steve Grabowski makes an appearance. 5-pin going to the right on that shot after the head pin comes back off the wall.
In my day, it was always the Joe Natoli.
The Joe Natoli, that's another famous one as well.
Made a lot of bowling with the champs. Joe's a great game. Got a great game. Not to pick on you, Joe, but there was a lot of 5 into the 7s.
Well, Sarah looking to strike here to stay within 20 pins, and she does. So this tournament not done yet.
No. For Sarah, it's going to be all about the 10th frame. She's going to need, obviously, at least the first 2 in the 10th.
Yeah.
Caerlina's got something going here with a 3-bagger, so she's going to need to perform in the 10th.
Well, here we go. If she strikes out, it's 203 for Sarah. If Caerlina were to go to 9 miss, 202. So striking out is a necessity here for Sarah to put any type of pressure on Caerlina. Good shot into the pocket. And wow, for the second time today on lane 15, we see a screaming pocket 710.
Yeah, just the pins didn't do their job, and just like that, it's over.
Sarah with a little smirk smile on the way back, she goes, I threw it good, what more can I do?
Yeah, and she did. She threw it well. Again, the ball just didn't get into a roll by the time it hit the pins, and you're going to end up opening yourself up for a lot of corners, and that's exactly what happened here.
One of these days, we're going to give that $100 away for a 710 conversion to a girl, to a boy. It's not going to matter. We just want to give it away. Any 300 game on a telecast or any Big 4 or 710 conversion is a $100 scholarship from Essential Bowling Concepts. Caerlina here, it's just victory lap time.
I think you're going to have a better chance at that 710 conversion out of the boys with their speed than you would see with the girls. But Caerlina throws it pretty fast too, Phil.
Exactly, and I'll tell you what, Sarah's looking at Caerlina's just blowing apart that rack. She goes, mine could have did the same thing. But
it could.
Yeah. I mean, just watch this rack get devastated as that ball hits 5 into the 7. Head pin spinning around.
Yeah.
So Caerlina's 3rd U Challenge title and her 2nd singles in a row, because we had the trios in between the VisitSheboygan.com Open and the Border Battle. So she's got 2 singles titles in a row.
I think it's the additional ball speed. She's got a few more reps on the ball than Sarah. That made the difference in the pin carry. Not that Sarah didn't throw a great game. She did. She just didn't have the as powerful strike ball as Caerlina did this game.
Caerlina won't be back for the 3rd in a row. She's going to be at the Junior World Team Challenge out in Las Vegas, where we're having our next tournament at New Berlin Bowl, Dwight. So it's going to be a pretty interesting tournament there. Caerlina with the big strikeout for 225, the last 6 in a row. Dwight and I are going to come back and wrap up this 2012 Border Battle from Castle Lanes in just a couple of minutes. I have a lot of viewers that ask me, why do you have so many of your tournaments at Castle Lanes? Well, Castle Lanes is a center that has an exceptional atmosphere. The charm of being in a Northwoods cabin while you bowl, an attentive staff on the lanes and in the lounge, all the big screen TVs, and a free Wi-Fi hotspot, and being named in Bowler's Journal as one of the 95 places to bowl before you die, you have to bowl at Castle Lanes. That's why we love Castle Lanes, and you will too. Well, Dwight, great matches all day here from the 2012 Border Battle for the Girls Championships. Caerlina Williams wins the championship, but that last match, even though the score was 70 pins different, it was down to the 10th frame. It was just one bad break for Sarah.
You're right, Phil. Close matches all day. Caerlina catches the last 6 to kind of pull away, and then Sarah leaves that pocket 7-10 in the 10th frame, kind of casted her fate.
Yeah. Absolute great bowling again. Hopefully we get that from the guys from the Border Battle. A couple familiar faces on there, too. We got Ryan Zager on the Wisconsin side and A.J. Johnson on the Illinois side, taking on some pretty good young contenders as well.
Both the boys and the girls, Phil, again, very, very strong at the top.
We'll be back with that boys finals from Castle Lanes on our next show. For my friend Dwight Albrecht, I'm Phil Brylow, and parents, take the kids bowling. They'll have fun for life, and we'll see you again from Castle Lanes.